Well, first of all, welcome to our show and thank you ever so much for talking to us today.
Well, thank you for the invitation.
Now, you won the APS's foremost awards. What does it feel like to win this award?
Well, for me, it really feels like this is an award for the field, not for an individual. And so I'm very delighted about it because it means that the field I've worked in all my life has somehow come of age.
Let's talk a little bit about that field, the soft matter physics. What attracted you to soft matter physics?
Well, I'm not sure that I was attracted to it because I don't think it really existed very much when I started out. And so part of it was that I knew about some people doing one kind of work and other people doing another kind of work. And, I'm not sure it had a name yet, but I kind of liked that, those aspects. But for me particularly was the fact that we could go into the lab and do experiments that we could see, that we could actually see the behavior in front of us. And it was beautiful. I mean, and we could film it, and we took images of this, and we took movies of it, and I was so delighted to be doing that. So it was, how often do you get to say I'm going into the lab every day just to make movies? And so that was very nice. And so I liked that part of it. And then after that was what the first draw. And then the second draw was that I got so excited about some of the ideas that come forth in this. And so if I could just say a word or two about that, is that, if I were to think back, take a big step backwards and look at, well, what are important questions for physics these days? And, I would say, physics knows very, very well how to deal with things that are very ordered. And they know very well how to deal with things that are in equilibrium, a little box of gas full of equilibrium. And you can say everything you want about those things because we kind of understand the principles of that. But, I look around me and I see nothing's in order and nothing's in equilibrium, and if you were in equilibrium, you'd be dead. I mean, which is, so if you think about it that way, all of biology is aimed at keeping us away from equilibrium. And these seem to me really the big questions, and soft matter is in a position to start addressing some of these at a simpler level than biology, but be able to get maybe some of the principles out. And so those are the things that fascinate me.
You're known to delight in disorder, so talk us through that.
I started out thinking that, we were taught crystals are the right thing to look at, every particle in its place and everything knew where they were supposed to be. And then I look around and my desk is not ordered. I mean, things are ready to fall on the floor and it's a mess. And you begin to realize, there's laws that deal with the far from equilibrium and disordered systems that we should be able to uncover. And so I delight in the disorder partly because it's a wonderful question to ask, how do we deal with this? It seems to be a freeing thing that it allows many different kinds of things to occur. That's not just what you get for the ordered system. But then so once you have this, can you begin to make something out of this? That is, it's not just for studying, but can you begin to understand that there are new things that you could make because the system is disordered, because you're not constrained by being in this perfect crystal state. And then I just find them beautiful. I mean, you don't have to go far, and you see, we're here in the desert, and you see dunes and sand all over the place. This is granular material. This is a disordered system. And you can't say that this isn't a beautiful landscape. And the beautiful landscape is because it's disordered. If this were a crystalline landscape, it would be very different, and I think we would be bored very quickly.
My final question is, when you think about young people today who be listening to you, who listen to some of your participating in your lectures, what advice would you give them when they're embarking on the same journey that you've gone through?
For me, beginning was difficult. I was full of insecurities, and I was so full of what's called imposter syndrome that I knew how much I didn't know and was painfully aware of that. And for me, I was able to get around that because I love to collaborate with people. And so that for me was the solution. I hope that other people who may be feeling these same kinds of insecurities, maybe this is the same thing, try to collaborate or whatever, but I hope you can find your own solution, because we're not all the same. And so, and this for me was a wonderful solution to that. And the other thing is, you have to choose a subject that you just enjoy doing. And because most of the time that's all you're doing is, and I've been happiest in my life not when I think about where do I exist in the scheme of physics, but when I'm just doing physics and I thought, oh, that part was fun, and trying to work with the ideas and grapple with the ideas. It's frustrating, but every once in a while there's that flash of light and you say, this made it all worthwhile. And so that was.
Well, thank you ever so much for joining us. I really appreciate it. It was so interesting. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much for having me.